Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. John Deaton's in the news, and you're going to be so glad that he is. Stuart Alderoty, Kevin O'Leary. We sit down with the SEC lawyer litigator, James Murphy. I'm going to share what I believe is a possible path for Ripple and XRP case with you and him. And guess what else? Ripple, Africa, 19 European nations. What in the world's going on? Somebody roll that beautiful intro so we can find out.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter for exclusive content. Right now, $838 billion market cap for crypto. It's down 2.9%. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Bitcoin, 16,600 right now. Ethereum is 1178 and change. Tether market cap is 66 billion, slightly over. XRP is 35 cents. It's off by 9.5% on the 7-day. You got to have the belly of a buzzard to be in this crypto space right now. But you know what? I'm happy to be in this space, and I'm happy to uphold my sponsor, and I've been a customer for even longer. If you haven't checked out Uphold, click the link underneath the video. Remember, there's opportunity to do 9.5% APY staking. And it is a great place to get altcoins. And with the uncertainty in this market with exchanges, I feel really good using Uphold. There's no question about that. Anything to anything. And you can also get linked to private equity, ladies and gentlemen. And you want to check out the deals they're running if you're accredited for private equity, where you can get Uphold itself. You can get linked to Ripple, PolySign. I'm telling you, the opportunities are truly amazing, everybody. Check it out and see if it's right for yourself. John Deaton shares this. And I want to impress upon you, we covered this already, but it is so important. And I tell you what, again, and I know I've said it a bunch, and I don't want to make it weird, but John, we are extremely grateful for you, brother. Seriously. This amicus brief is only 8 pages. I challenge anyone to read it and then try to classify LBC acquired by Naomi Brockwell as securities. It can't be done. Even the most ardent SEC backer will concede that not a single Howey factor is satisfied. Now, just to quickly recap this for all of us, this is extremely important, and why I am following Naomi. There we go. So this is extremely important because Naomi Brockwell uses the library network and the LBC tokens, but has never bought or sold any of them. So it is impossible to find a violation or satisfy, however you want to say it, satisfy a prong on the Howey test. This is in the library case. I know that this is the First Circuit Court, but if a judge makes the determination, and the SEC must concede that the asset underneath the investment contract is not a security. The SEC in this case, and they actually in every case they've brought, have really tried to make the argument that the oranges from the Howey test are in fact securities. That is where we're at here, and John Deaton has joined and submitted an application to join in the library case to help, as a friend of the court, the judge move through that. Now, while we wait for the more information on that, and shout out again to John to that, he highlights here how Empower Oversight, shout out to Jason Foster and everybody at Empower Oversight over there, still getting the runaround from the SEC over agreed to search for emails for the names listed below, but failed to do so after agreeing. They absolutely have emails and already did the search for some of those names. This is getting so bad, ladies and gentlemen. So bad that the SEC is stonewalling Freedom of Information Acts from Empower Oversight. This, I believe this ends very badly. They're prolonging it, but it will happen. And remember this, because we're going to see some information here. I'm going to share a part of the conversation I had with securities lawyer, litigator, now retired, James Murphy, and the conversation we had, how I laid out to him, as I have done for many other legal analysts in this space. And thank them all for listening to me and putting up with me. But I'm going to share what I believe is a possible path forward in the Ripple case, and I'm going to be very candid as I do so. You can believe it. But remember this before we hear that here in a second. We already know Hinman violated criminal conflict laws. Period. Full stop. The facts are not in dispute because the SEC Ethics Office told him that he would violate the statute if he met with, called, text, or emailed his partners at Simpson Thacker, and he met with them at least 3 times thereafter. Remember that as we move through this information. Then this guy, Kevin O'Leary. Boy, I tell you, what a fall from grace he's had. Woo-wee. Stuart Alderoty says it right here. He says to Kevin O'Leary, he says, and all the other venture investors in FTX should immediately demand that the SEC stop spending taxpayer money on its tag-along case against Sam Bankman-Fried, since the case only seeks to recover on their behalf. Stuart, shout out to you. Hats off, my friend. Ripple seeks crypto license in Republic of Ireland. Remember this? We are 1 day short of it being exactly a month ago here. And I guess that was November 18th. It was first reported, updated on the 23rd. Remember that, because this is what we're talking about now. Are they mutually exclusive? I don't really think so. Ripple orchestrates remittances into Africa from 19 European nations, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. Ripple has facilitated remittances from 19 European nations into Africa through the Tanzanian financial tech company Nala. They are an agent of Modular, following through on partnership announced between the two last year. You have to wonder if somehow this all ties into that license that they're looking to get stabilized over there. And remember, there isn't a damn thing the SEC can do about any of this that is very real and is going to continue to happen and grow. February 2022 saw Ripple and Modular collaborate to facilitate seamless payments in UK throughout Europe. The two tech companies allow businesses to execute real-time payments on international scale through Ripple technology, RippleNet. Come on in. Shout out to Taylor Beddick for that. And Watcher Guru. Here it is. You need to hear every bit of this. Are we about to witness a non-state backed money like XRP for the first time be blessed? You're going to listen to Meta Lawman James Murphy. Shout out to you, James. I had such a great time talking with you. My concern, he says, is the legislative branch if Ripple were to win. Well, I think that's a hell of a comment right there, James. Why Ripple spent $100 million is the Supreme Court a path and a legal dog leash. Let's take a listen.
And I briefly asked you about entertaining this idea is that, are we about to witness for the first time in history, should XRP get through the gate here, a currency be issued and legitimately blessed through court, right, and a ruling to become money for the first time, a non-state backed money. Now, I know that that's what Bitcoin was after, right? But, money has 3 things: store of value, medium of exchange, and a unit of account, right? We know these principles to be true. So we know that there are some things that say Bitcoin could fall into the commodity world, but certainly not a currency at this point, right? It had to retreat to a commodity.
Right.
However, and I don't know if you're aware of this, and I'll just throw this out for, understanding talking points and how I get to where I am, is that the World Bank has referred to as recently as in the last few months, just, not that long ago, put out a report where they look at XRP and XLM as a stable coin. And in fact, they call it a global stable coin. Mm-hmm. Which is a pretty remarkable comment, right? Because it speaks to some kind of a price set, and we're not talking about it being worth $1, right? So understanding the role of XRP to serve as a bridge currency and not be a threat, but a complement to the dollars and fiat dollars of the world to settle that, and to be working as a grease in the engine to help speed up the velocity of money, which we could all use right now. And unlock dormant capital in the Nostro accounts, which is north of 12 to 25 trillion, somewhere in that window, and really give the central banks the access to their own money by really unlocking this. I don't need to keep capital in 120 countries where we're doing business, because I could hold XRP and just convert and do it with the one bag of XRP. So the conversation gets pretty weighted pretty quickly. Because if we understand that that's the journey, and we're in the middle of this court case, which I believe, and I'll just say this openly, I believe that the court case was dead on the way John Deaton said it. It was used as a weapon in the very beginning. But I personally believe, and is my personal belief and no one else's, that public figures inside of this case understood in a public agency to serve and protect citizens saw an advantage to be greedy. They saw something that was destined to be used inside of a government system for payments, because that has been the goal of Ripple with XRP and the XRP ledger from day one, is to work within the system. And what I see from where I stand is a few people that understood that that was their goal. And if we sue them, because they're going to have to get sued for clarity at some point anyway, we could pick up the phone and call our buddies at JP Morgan and Joseph Lumen and the other ones, and we could have a field day and create a token assembly line with Ethereum with a free pass, which happened in June of 2018. Now, that's how I see what took place that brought us to where we are. However, this court case has served as an isolation or an insulation bubble around things like Celsius and Voyager and FTX collapse, because we've been delisted through the process of all of this and dealing with the case itself. Now, I'm sure if you ask Ripple if they think spending $100 million is a fun thing to do, I'm sure they're going to tell you, oh, no. So I'm sure this looks a lot different, depending on where you stand. However, if all of this is for you don't spend $100 million just so you can sell something like Bitcoin. You're spending $100 million because you understand the goal is to move trillions of dollars annually every year for the next 150 years. That's why you spend $100 million on a defense, right? So understanding that, I have to ask myself, when I hear you say appellate court, possibly Supreme Court, I say to myself, well, that makes legally the most sense. And believe me, as an XRP holder, I want this thing over, and I want clarity, and I want to be done with it, and I want to go golfing. And I'm not even good at golf, James. So what I'm saying is that, it almost makes sense to me that Ripple could possibly get some clarity to allow it move forward, begin to do U.S. adoption, because they've been adoption around the world. 95% of their customers are on the other side of the world already. Open up the market to the U.S. It goes to appellate court. Maybe you get some kind of decision. Then there's some kind of appeal that goes further. Then it goes to Supreme Court. But the whole time, Ripple and XRP are growing with U.S. adoption to match what they've been doing on the other side of the world here. And then they visit it at the Supreme Court level. And you've had this legal dog leash on XRP for the last few years at that point to really ensure that this new non-state-backed money is going the way it's supposed to, or they could swing the gavel in the Supreme Court and this thing's digital marbles. Your thoughts?
So my concern is the legislative branch if Ripple were to win. But, hopefully, and this 1,000 times better than I do, when you show people how this thing is being used and adopted by really sophisticated players around the world, that's obviously a very big advantage when you have those discussions. I can't agree or disagree with what you said. other than to say it was really well informed and well stated.
Well, look, thank you. And I don't know what's going to happen either. And I want this thing over yesterday like everybody else does. But
okay, there you have it right there, ladies and gentlemen. I laid it out. I don't think I could be any more clear about what I'm seeing. And I have no idea what the outcome would be. But what I do know, and I do go on to say it in the interview, and I really want to thank James Murphy for sitting down with me, and go listen to that interview. It is packed with incredible points and conversations that he and myself both share. And it's just really, it really is a great conversation. But, look, I don't know what is going to happen. All I know is I believe that XRP will ultimately reach the goal of all the money. Or as Chris Larson has said, to have the liquidity of a G10 currency, like the Swiss franc. I believe that this is the goal. I do believe that they will get it done, as scary as it is. And I am not sitting here trying to convince anyone else of it. I'm just sharing my digital perspectives. That's going to do it for me. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not decided whether you're going to join the Digital Perspectives Mastermind group, you better decide very soon. Make that investment in yourself. This group is amazing. And in just a few days, I am shutting the door on the special that exists right now. And the terms are going to change on it. So if you're thinking about it, you're on the fence. It is an investment in yourself. If you don't believe me, talk to anybody who's joined in the group and they'll tell you too. It is real business going on in there with all of us. And check out I Trust Capital. The only thing better than buying gold or crypto and gold and silver is buying it tax-free. Yeah, check it out. Click the link underneath the video. I'll catch all of you on the next one.